And now it's time for us to talk about a man I respect to the highest degree, a man who my father named me after, El Haj Malik El Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. So, we all know when election time comes up in America, we have these conversations about conservatives versus liberals, and a lot of different rhetoric comes from that. Okay? Something that has begun to grind my gears, has started to grind my gears, has been grinding my gears for years, is how anti black conservatives quote Malcolm X, but misrepresent his stance within that same quote. You see, Malcolm X has a quote about white liberals and how they are not to be trusted, etc., and all of that, right? By how black America should not trust white liberals. And a lot of anti black conservatives use this quote to try to twist it into it meaning that Malcolm X liked white conservatives, like he was all for them, that he felt like black America should be in unity and lockstep with white conservatives, because he did not think that at all. He despised white conservatives the same way he despised white liberals. Okay? He just did not like the fact that white liberals tried to hide who they really were. And so let me read you all some of the quote. Some of the quote is, it's a speech about it. He says, white liberals are more dangerous than the conservatives. They lure the Negro. And as the Negro runs from the growling wolf, the conservatives, he flees into the open jaws of the smiling wolf. One is a wolf, the other is a fox. No matter what, they'll both eat you. The growling wolf is the conservative. The smiling wolf is the liberal, right? He felt that white liberals were more dangerous because, again, they oftentimes would hide behind covert racism. Covert is hidden. This is a whole conversation about covert racism versus overt racism. Open racism from the conservatives, overt, and covert racism hidden by the liberals, right? And he spoke about how a lot of times the white liberals would try to build this facade that they were for Black America and they were here to help Black America. But at the core, they were all about the advancement of white America, not Black America. But make no mistake about this. When he says that, he said they'll both, no matter what, they'll both eat you. Because he knew that white conservatives were also pushing the agenda of for white America, not Black America. At the end of the day, he knew that white liberals and white conservatives were two faces of the same coin. The whole coin itself being the problem. You know what I mean? He knew that neither one of those groups had the best interests of Black America in mind. They did not. Okay? And so, but conservatives try to twist this into, try to make it seem like Malcolm X liked white conservatives. He did not. He despised white conservatives. He found them despicable. And he still would find them despicable to this day. Again, people hear this quote and they push this agenda that Malcolm thought being a conservative was better than being a liberal, instead of recognizing that he was saying that both were an enemy to Black America, right? This quote has Black folks respecting anti-Black conservatives under the guise of honest racism. Let me tell y'all this, man. I hate when people say, man, I respect the open racism more than a hidden one. I don't respect neither one of them. Okay, I'm not going to respect you more because you're loud and proud about your racism. It's still fuck you. Okay, the same way if it was hidden. I'm not giving anybody kudos and cookie points and brownie points for being honest in your racism. You're not getting cool points or kudos and pats on the back over here. It's still fuck you the same way. The same way it would be if it was hidden. Now, I appreciate knowing where I stand with you, which is what Malcolm X was saying. I want to know where I stand with you. That does not mean I like you. That does not mean I want to eat lunch with you and have and embracing kumbaya hugs with you. No, I just like to know where you stand. So when you're open with your racism, I know you don't mess with Black people. I know you're not for us. So I appreciate knowing where you stand, and it's still F you, and it's still I don't like you, and it's still, hey, you're not good for my Black people. You know? Even though you're open about it, you're still not good for my Black people. We know the other group, the white liberals, were not for black America at all. I mean, but you know, they were hiding it. Yeah, it still F them too. But he's saying, in that quote, he's saying, I still don't rock with white conservatives either. And because a lot of them, it was all rooted in anti-blackness. And he recognized that. He recognized that, man. You see, this is, and he also said this: the white conservatives aren't friends of the Negro either, but at least they don't try to hide it. He's saying it. Yeah, at least they don't try to hide it. Yeah, it's good that you don't try to hide it, but he's saying they're not friends of black America. And again, but still with him saying all of this in these quotes, you still got black folks respecting anti-black conservatives under the guise of honest racism. I'm not respecting anybody that's anti-black. I'm not. I'm not one of them black brothers that's gonna shake the Ku Klux Klan hand for being honest. I don't that shit not gonna get you nowhere. Shaking their hand, oh, I respect you because you're honest. No. I want all the smoke with the Klan the same way I want all the smoke with the white liberals who hiding the racism, who's showing covert racism, not showing, but who's under the guise of covert racism. I hate this whole notion. Like black people trying to flip this shit into, oh, I respect the oneness. I respect it. I was all love. I respect it. You up? No. Is no respect from me at all. Even if you're showing it loudly and proudly. And I want to say this: Malcolm X wouldn't let anyone manipulate the black mind to minimize us at all. Okay? So a lot of the anti-black conservatives, they trying to spin it to, oh, Malcolm X was riding with us, you know, the white conservative, he liked us. No, because at the end of the day, he still knew that white conservatives were still all for manipulating the black mind to minimize us, to keep us held down, to keep us oppressed, to keep us at the bottom. Even though they were open about it, they still were trying to minimize us as best as possible, okay? No matter if it's hidden or open, minimizing us is not a good thing, okay? And I like a lot of the anti-black conservatives, they hear this quote from Malcolm and they get giddy. They start clapping. You would have think they belong to a Baptist church, the way they start getting when they see this quote from Malcolm. Ooh, see, Malcolm, he gets it. Look, Malcolm X, he don't like white liberals either. He didn't like white conservatives either. He did not rock with y'all. He did not like white conservatives one bit, one iota, 1 ounce. So make no mistake about it. You know what I mean? And when I listen to these quotes and I see a lot of these anti-black conservatives, they use this quote to push that Malcolm X was all like he was only against white liberalism. They try to act like he was only against white liberalism. He was against white conservatism too, right? When I see the anti-black conservatives use this quote to try to misrepresent Malcolm, they often point out how they love Malcolm after the pilgrimage to Mecca and how he changed, how he became a better person because he saw Muslims of different ethnicities coming together and treating each other as brothers. I want to remind you all of something. El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz was still Malcolm X to the core. He was no longer with the NOI, the Nation of Islam, but at the center of his ideologies was black nationalism. Even after the pilgrimage to Mecca, he still wanted black Americans to fight against the oppression of white America. At all expense, he still wanted black Americans to fight against the oppression of white America. He still recognized that we had a problem with oppression from white America. Black folks did. He still recognized that. He still acknowledged it. That was still the core of his fight, okay? He wanted black Americans to band together, to form our own communities, businesses, and to produce our own politicians, etc. But he still was about to fight for black America, even after the pilgrimage to Mecca. They try to act like after the pilgrimage to Mecca, he act like he thought, he found out that we didn't have no race problem in America and that everything was all good and that the white conservatives was cool and all that. Like after the pilgrimage, he found out, oh, we don't got no race problem. It's all gone. BS. Bull-ish. He still was Malcolm X, which is why he still kept his name as Malcolm X. As long as the problem is still the problem, my name will still be Malcolm X. And he said that. The problem being anti-black racism. Okay, that's why he did not only just completely change his name to El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, because he knew I am still Malcolm X because I'm still in the fight for Black America and for the oppression for my people, for Black American people to stop being marginalized in this country. And I wanna make that very clear to the anti-Black racists, the anti-Black conservatives who try to misrepresent him with that quote about white liberals to make it seem like he was all for white liberalism, and he was not. I want to keep that, make y'all aware of that. The next time I see you racist, anti-Black folks quoting the honorable brother Malcolm X, aka El Haj Malik El Shabazz, I want you to understand he would not stand with you. He would not stand next to you. He would not smile in your face. He would not call you brother and eat lunch and dinner and have biscuits with you. He would not. He would tell you to your face how you are against Black American people, and he finds it despicable, and he finds it horrific, and how at the end of the day he ain't for it. So I want y'all to understand it. You know, all this, they try to act like Malcolm, when he went to Mecca, he just found out racism was a figment of his imagination and it was no longer an issue. I want to make myself clear. He still was a Black nationalist even when he came back. He just recognized that, hey, there are Black Muslims and there are Muslims who are not Black, and people who non-Black Muslims who still treat other Muslims like brothers and still love and show respect to each other and all of that, and still look at each other as brothers in this world. But his fight still remained the fight against anti-Black racism in America. You know, but I had to say that because it was getting on my nerves, okay? It was getting on my nerves. As a man who loves Malcolm X, a man whose father named him after Malcolm X, I can no longer sit by idly as people keep running with that and make it seem like Malcolm X really loved white conservatives, because he did not. I'm going to remind you all the time, he did not. He did not like the anti-Black conservatives, because and I say white conservatives because he knew they were anti-Black. He knew that. Okay? So he was against anything anti-Black, which is why at the time he spoke how he did about white liberalism, white conservatism. He knew at the end of the day it was all centered in whiteness, in the advancement of white people, not for the advancement of Black people. Okay, so that was not something that he wasn't standing on either side of the fence with that at all. He wasn't in the middle. He was just away from the goddamn fence in its entirety. But yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you guys, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all anti-Black racists, anti-Black conservatives, anti-Black racists, y'all please stop misrepresenting the honorable brother Malcolm X to push a narrative, you know, that, hey, he's all for conservatism. Stop that. Stop that. Peace.